Hi there, it's Karen here. Welcome back, and today we're going to start working on the signature for our first Moroccan journal. So I showed you all the pieces last time, made a couple of things, not entirely happy with one of them. I think I overdid it. But never mind, we'll move on and just make the signature today, maybe do a little bit of decorating on some of the plainer pages, see how far we go. So you've seen these papers. I did change them around a bit. I did change my mind about the ones I wanted to use. But they've all been printed on the other sides as well. A variety of backings, hopefully none of them duplicated. I don't think I've duplicated any of them, so they'll all look different on the backs. So I'll just quickly show you those first, just to remind you of the colour scheme we're going for in this journal. Right, let's turn them around, because I think it's such a beautiful kit, this. So we've got this one, this red one, and I'll show you what's on the backs of each one as well. So this is some Roxy Creations backing paper, and this is also Roxy Creations. That's some of her dyed papers, coffee dyed or tea dyed. I love this one, it's beautiful. And this has got some other random backing paper that I'm not sure where that came from. And there's a red one. I get the feeling that somehow looks upside down. That looks, I don't know, I think they're the same the both ways. Don't think it matters. And I used one of the backing papers from the kit on this one. Again, another one of my favourites, and that's upside down because I can see from the writing that's upside down. I think this is beautiful. And this is, I think this is an Artie Mays stained paper. I think this was one I hadn't originally chosen, but I couldn't help myself. I really love it, so that's gone in. And with that, some papers from the kit, from this kit. I think this one I changed out as well. I really love this. And this is from Roxy Creations Antique bookends, I think, or book papers, I'm not quite sure, but anyway, it's Roxy Creations. And then I have this one, which has got some more backing from the kit. I think it's a different one to the one I used, but I'm not for the other paper. Yes, it's a different one. It's very similar. But then we've got some of this in some of the cards, in some of the scrapbooking papers, so I'll show you that. So they're the papers. I may or may not use them all. I think I've got 8 here. But I've got quite a few other things I've pulled out to make up the signature, so whether I'll use all of those, I don't know. So then we have these scrapbooking papers. I won't use them all, but I've just pulled out, I think I pulled out 3. I haven't quite decided because, as you can see, this design is perfect because it just goes so well. Look at that. It's just the same pattern, basically, which is lovely. I love that. Not so sure about this side, that's my problem. So we'll see how that looks. So there's that one. This one I really love. It's got golds and gorgeous colours in it, a bit of red. Really love this one. And it's fine on the other side as well. So that's definitely a keeper. And this is another one that I really like. And it's got that pattern, but I'm not so sure about this really dark chocolate brown. So yeah, hopefully I'm going to use a couple of these. Haven't quite decided which 2 yet. But I'm going to cut down this one for sure, because I think this is going to be the outside of my signature. So let's just start with that one first and get that cut to size. So this one needs to be... yeah, it doesn't need to be cut down. I don't know if it matters which way around it goes. I kind of feel that way is the way up. So I'm going to put it this way and cut it down to 8.5. I think for now. I might take it a little further when I've got everything else together, because it might be way too big, because some of those papers are going to be very short. Now, whether I've got this upside down, that's my problem. I'm upside down. So now I need to just bring this bar out. And what do I want? I want, this is going to be the height. So I'm going to do it at 8.5, with the option of reducing it a bit more depending on how the other papers look with it. But it's best if this is bigger than everything else, isn't it? Okay. And then we've got this piece, which will be the outside of everything. And let's see. Now I'll cut it. I want it that way up because I want this at the top. But I don't think it really makes any difference. So then I'm just going to fold that in half, and that'll be our outside. And hopefully the fabric I've chosen for the inside of the cover is going to work okay. It's going to be quite a bit of a contrast, but I don't think it matters too much because it's all within the same colour scheme. So that's our outside cover. And I really like that actually, that's really nice as well. So, right, we've got that. Just going to put the other two scrapbook papers aside for the moment, because I think I'll probably try to put one in the middle. If I'm going to use scrapbooking paper, I usually like one on the outside and one on the middle, in the middle. That's probably enough. Now let's just fold these so they're ready to go in case any trimming needs to happen. Sometimes when you've trimmed off all the white borders, they don't actually end up completely true. So, let's see. I think the writing's that way up, so let's go with it like that. Right, they seem to have come out okay. They didn't really need a lot of trimming, except apart from that little tiny bit that needed clipping off. So that's those. And I've got, so these can hopefully all pop inside here. I may end up using one of these as my centre instead of one of the scrapbooking papers and use those for perhaps making some ephemera. I'm not sure at the moment, because I just love these papers. Well, I love them all. I want to use it all, but I don't know if that's practical. You know what I'm like? I can overfill without any trouble at all. I always overfill my journals. Right, so now we have a few other bits and pieces that I want to use. So I've got some lovely old book pages. These are both from Roxy Creations. Obviously, I get all my old stuff, any really old stuff I get from her, because I don't have access to it here. I think they're both Italian. It's not rag paper, but I think it feels quite strong. So I don't think I need to reinforce this one, but I do think I need to reinforce this one. To me, it looks older. It's quite soft. And this looks a bit fragile in the middle. So I am going to reinforce this. There's a few holes, I think, where it's come out of the signature, and it's, where it's been sewn in. There's a few holes there, so I think this will need some reinforcement. So we'll do that a bit later. I haven't decided yet. I will probably have to cut this down. I haven't really decided if I want to fold it up to make pockets or whether I'm just going to cut it off. I'm feeling tempted to fold it up to make pockets. I don't do that very often. I know it's something Rachel does quite often. I'm not always too sure about doing that, but I might do with this one. I've got some beautiful Florentine paper that I think goes quite well with the colours, which I might incorporate with this envelope. I think that's what I'm going to do. Not quite sure how yet, but we'll get to it in a minute. So I'll put that one side. Things that need work I shall put over to this side. And I found this plate. It's like from one of my old encyclopedias. I know it's not really Moroccan, but it has the colours, and I think that would work quite well. And I thought I might combine it with a piece of my colour dyed paper. This is using some, I think, some food dye. And I quite often use these papers at Christmas, but I think the red works really well for this journal. And I think putting that together with this plate, which I'll cut down, I think that might go quite well. So I think those two I will combine in some way to make another page. Not quite sure if I'm going to use this. It's quite thin. It's a small piece of vintage paper, but it's a lovely colour. Or I might use it in combination with one of the others, not sure yet. So I'll put that to one side. I may or may not use it. Then I've got a couple of coffee dyed papers here, which I have a plan for. So I'm going to fold those, and we're going to decorate these up a little bit, and possibly, I don't know if they'll need cutting down a little bit. It's a bit torn here, so I might trim it a little. So there's that one. Oh, I suppose I better put that to the side as well, because that's going to need work. And this one is actually, I don't know if you can see, I used a stencil when I dyed this, and I thought it had a slightly mosaic-y look to it, so I might use that. This hasn't got quite so much this pattern on it, so I'm going to do a bit of work on this side, I think. I may well leave this one as it is, I'm not sure. I might do a little something on here. So I'm just going to fold that. And that's that. And then I have got some of Rachel's straw paper, which I don't very often use in signatures. But again, it's the perfect colour. So that's going to go in as well. I'm not going to fold that yet. I might fold that slightly shorter. Let's see how big the kit pages are, because I think this is quite a big piece, and then we'll fold a piece in, I think, as a side tuck. Fold that there, so it might be slightly smaller, but it's about right. And then fold this one in. Fold it in quite well. Sometimes when you start putting them all in signature, they start sticking out more than you want them to, don't they? So that might need a trim because it's going to be very tall, but it fits well into there, so it should be okay size-wise. I think I'm going to trim it. So it appears to. I don't think it's quite straight here, so I'm going to trim it at this side to fit, just to be a bit close to the size of the papers, because it's not quite true at the bottom there anyway. So let's just trim this down a bit. Yeah, that's about right. Are you straight? Yeah. Okay. Right, so that one is ready to go, and that will make a nice little side tuck, and I can decorate that with some of the ephemera or papers. Right, so that goes in here, and this one can go in. That's ready to go. That's the book page. So right, let's look at some of these pieces. Oh, under here I've got my envelope. This is going to be the cover, so that's the size. So that should fit nicely in there, shouldn't it? I'm not going to fold it properly, but I'm just going to get an idea. Yeah, that's going to work in there. So we'll put that aside. Oops, stuck itself to my envelope for some reason. Okay. So, right. Now the two bits of coffee dye paper I'm going to do some work on in a little while, but I think I need to figure out how some of these other things are going to go in here. So let's do the reinforcement on this lovely old book page. It definitely needs something. I've used washi tape to reinforce before, but I do find it doesn't lie very flat. I don't know, it's obviously the way I'm doing it, but I thought maybe I'll use something else this time. I have got this a piece of book page from another. I had a scrap and I thought, well, that might fit nicely there. Not quite long enough. I had to cut a piece off, but I think it'll be okay. And maybe I'll put some washi tape on the outside, which will be more visible, and it won't matter so much. But I do find that sometimes having the washi tape inside, it sort of makes it a bit stiff. It may just be because of the gluing, I don't know. But I'm going to try using this. So let's get started on this. I need some book page. Okay, so you can hardly see it really. I'm going to let that dry before I try folding it, I think. Make sure that's glued down. It's a little bit torn at the top there. And I think on the other side I will put some washi on this side for a bit of colour. And I have this washi which I love. I've used it loads of times for years. I've had it quite a few years, but I think it's an MT. I don't know if that means anything, but I think it's a good quality one. I'm going to try using it without adding extra glue. So I'm going to just lay it on and hold it straight and just trim off the top where it might be slightly less sticky, but these always seem to be quite sticky. I bought it years ago in the Spitalfields Market in London, where it's now a craft market. It used to be Fishmonger's Market, I think. Anyway, it's an amazing craft market. We went there once on a Saturday and they had a store with like all those Japanese washi tapes, and I bought 2 and I've still got them and I use them a lot. And I love them. Love all the colours. The other one's got greens and blues in, unsurprisingly. Okay, so I'm going to leave that to dry, I think, before I try and fold that. Okay, next. Right, let's do something with this and this. I would quite like to, rather than joining it at the flap, which was what I would normally do, and then you've got this issue of trying to get something into this envelope, which is going to be really close to the spine if you sew it in here. I want to try and just do it this way round and join it here. So I think what I need to do is have something to join it, which is then it would make that will be one page on one side and this would be on the other side. Now I think that might be too wide, so if I do it this way, I'm figuring this out as I go really, I can fold it in there and then we've got a nice decorative tie tuck. can't remember my words. Right, so if I do that, then I have got a piece of, this is quite nice strong paper. It's I call it parchment paper. It's just a scrap. I'm wondering if I glue it onto there. No, I have to do the shorter one first and have it only as wide as the shortest piece. I think I'll glue it to this side. Now I'm going to fold this in half. It's quite stiff, this paper, so this isn't as easy as you think. Well, it may be a bit approximate in half. Just going to get my bone folder. It's a bit as flat as I'd like. I don't know why. Right, so not perfect. So what I think I'll do is I'll glue this onto here with a little bit sticking out, so I've got, okay, it's too long, so let's just trim it. Maybe I'll glue it then trim off the excess. Maybe that's the best thing to do. I think I'll use my art glitter glue for this. If I can get the pin out. Sometimes when I haven't used it for a few days, the pin just won't come out. And then when it does come out, it gets all bent out of shape. But never mind, it did come out. Let's see if I can get it to work. And I want this side. Not going right up to the inside edge because that's where I want my the sewing in to go. So I think put it like that. No, hang on, figure it out. It's going to go on there, isn't it? No, I don't want it on there. I want it this way. So if I, okay, we'll do it like this. Sometimes these sort of things do challenge my brain a little bit. Ooh, it's not lying flat. Come up, come up, come up. Okay, I think that's it. Right, so we're going to have it like this. And then we'll glue will that go on to like, that'll go on like that, won't it? Yes. I'll glue on like that and I'll sort of centralise it. Hope this is going to work out. So it was a bit stiff, this paper. I should have probably chosen something a little bit more pliable. But I didn't know until I tried using it that that was going to be the case. Okay, I think that's about straight. Okay, so we have that. I think that'll be okay as the signature. And then we can do a bit of decorating, but because it's craft, it doesn't need to have everything on it. But I might do a little bit of something on here as well. Yes, I've had a thought, so I'm going to go with that thought, and I'm going to put it over here with the coffee dyed paper, and I'll do something similar to what I'm doing on the coffee dyed paper. Now we've got this piece, and we've got this. So I'm just trying to think how best to use these two together. First of all, I need to trim this down, tidy it up. I'll just trim that off there. Doesn't need to be full size. Trim off a bit at the top. Well, maybe I'll leave the top. And I'm going to trim this down here because it's quite wide. And So how wide is this going to be? Because I could fold some in. This is the tricky one. I'm not quite sure how to do this. So I want to see how this fits in here. So it is a bit wide, so what I'm going to have to do, I think, is fold this in a bit. Oops, a little bit torn. Fold that in like that. Hopefully it's straight. Right. That's better. It fits better now. Oops. And so how we're doing this. I'm not sure how we're doing this. So I think we might make that into a bit of a flip out. Put something on the back here. Not quite sure. I'm not sure how to use this, but I want to use it because I like the colour. Maybe put it like that. So that can be on that side, or I'm trying to figure this out. I'm sorry about this. So that's the. Put it like that. Okay. And this will have to be folded in as well. Not necessarily as a side tuck, I might just glue that down. So I can tuck it on there like that. Is that going to work? No. I think that's going to be too... Is it going to be too wide? No, maybe not. But if that's going into the signature, that is going to be right into the signature there. Okay. Maybe I have to make that a bit... I may have to trim this piece a bit more. That doesn't look very straight, does it? Oops, sorry, I've got somebody at the door. Okay, I think I figured out what I want to do with this. I've been thinking about it. And so instead of folding it under, I'm going to fold it this way. This will be sewn into the signature, and I'm going to double it there so that I'm hoping that will then, yeah, that will go into the signature here, and this will be a bit reinforced. I'm going to get rid of that white edge, I think, and just that little bit will show on the other side of the signature, I think, and I can always cover that up. I think I'll just do that. And then that will go, and then this will then reinforce the whole, gluing it onto here will reinforce it and make it a bit stronger, because it's not very thick paper. It's reasonably strong, I think, but, so I think it's not terribly straight, but I don't think I'm going to worry about that too much. Right, so I am going to, right, I'll keep saying that, don't I? Just trying to figure it out, because I want it to be a page in the signature, but I need it to, I don't know, I've not made it, I seem to have made life complicated for myself, and I don't know, I don't seem to have had this problem before, but I think it's because it's a bit small. Rather than having a join, you know, with joining them together with some other paper, like a hinged piece that's added, I'm going to actually just do them together. I think that's what's different. So I've got this piece like that, and this just needs to be glued here. Come on, glue. Help me out here on it. Struggling a bit here to know what I'm doing, but I think I'm getting there. All right. So yeah, that's a bit wonky. I'm not sure why, but yeah, I should probably cover this up anyway with something when we get there. So what to do? Oh, it's a bit lumpy there. Why is it lumpy? All right, so we've got that, and then of course we've got this giant piece of paper here, and as I've already got a fold there, so that'll be, I'm going to just trim that and make that into a bit of a side top on that side, and then I'll trim off the bottom to fit. How big do I want that to be? Not too big, but big enough to tuck things in and have them not fall out. So we'll go with that. So then we've got, so that will need to be glued down. Or we could make a flip out with that. I don't know yet, so I'll decide nearer the time. So then we have, this will go in the signature. I'm going to trim this down. Right, let's get this trimmed up. I might just take that bit of white off as well while I'm at it. Okay, so then we have that. I'm going to trim off that last piece of white at this edge. Don't need that. I shall keep the white at the top, and then I shall decorate that with something, no doubt. Right, so then we have this piece to go in the signature. So we've got that. Good. And optional extra, don't know if I need that in there. I'll put that to one side to decide later. Now we've got a few bits that I'd like to put some extra decoration on. I'm just going to bring in my mat just to protect the other one. And what we're going to do first, I'm going to start with my coffee dyed papers. This one, because it's very plain, needs the most doing to it. So I have got a fabulous new stamp from Tim Holtz, Stampers Anonymous, and this one is called Patchwork, but if I get it out you'll be able to see it very much echoes some of the patterns in the kit. Right, so we've got a slightly bigger pattern and a smaller pattern. I think I'm going to use the bigger pattern for this one. Let's take that off. And I'm going to get my big mat. This is also a Ranger, but it's under the Dilutions name. rather than Tim Holtz. Right, so my idea is to do a bit of stamping, but then also a bit of embossing. A bit of both. I've just got to find... Yep, I'm going to use for the first stamping. Now, if this goes wrong, I'll just use another piece of paper because I haven't tried doing this before, but I'm going to stamp with this first. And I don't want to do a solid piece, I just want to do a little bit of sort of like a fragment is the idea. So this is the pine cone, so the dark brown. And let's try. I haven't put the ink on really heavily. Oh, I'm just wondering, before I do this. Okay, I'll do it here. Okay, it's sort of patchworky. I'm just wondering if this is a bit tall. I might want to trim this a bit before I go much further, because some of these papers are really not very tall at all, but the Stamperi one is, so I could make it, yeah, I need to make it just a little bit shorter. That's better, and it's also cut off that bit that was a bit torn. I don't need to worry about torn bits. Okay, and I'm going to do a bit more on the inside. Just trying to figure it out. To put it right in the corner this time, I think. Yeah. It's a little bit squarish, isn't it? So maybe I should... But then I'm going to do a bit of embossing over the top. That's the idea. So just do it lightly on there. You can have a bit on here, a little bit. Rather than going to the edge, I'm just going to do a bit in the middle, so it doesn't look quite so squared off. Okay. Well, there's more on there than I thought, but never mind. It's all good. I'm experimenting a little bit. Right, I want to do a bit of embossing here, I think. It's dry, isn't it? Yep. So, I've got some gold embossing powder, got the Versamark embossing ink. I've got my little pad to make sure it only embosses where I want it to. Just rub this over. It's kind of talcum powdery type of thing, but it's quite good to use. Gets rid of bits that you don't want to stamp, don't want to emboss. It kind of, I don't know, it clears it. I don't quite know how it works, but makes it nice and clean and ready to emboss. And goes everywhere. Right. Let's just try this. I'm going to just do a little bit. I think I need some paper to put to my, well, no. Right, just got some paper for the excess powder. So I've got something to, I'll fold that in half and it can go back in the pot. Why am I putting this on there? I'm so stupid. I'm so sorry, guys. I need to go wash this. I haven't done this for a while. I'm completely lost the plot. I'll go and wash my stamp. Oh my goodness. Shall we try that again? I'm so sorry. I don't know what possessed me to do that. Never done that before. Completely lost my mind. So, we will yet again put some of this on here, and not put the embossing powder on it. Put it on here. Sort of there-ish. Okay. We'll see how this turns out. Oh, there's some pattern, something there. Not sure. Let's try it. Don't know if there's anything on there or not. Can't see. Oh, there is. You never can tell. So, if I have any more disasters, I'm going to put my embossing powder in here. And we'll try and see how that comes out once I've heated it up. See if it's got the effect I was looking for. Right, so we have that gold embossed finish on there. I like that actually. It's not quite how I envisaged it, but I can live with that. I quite like it. And then we're going to do some on here as well. Have another go with that. So yeah, that's definitely come out a bit better, a bit more how I was thinking. And I might just do a little bit on this one, maybe a bit down here, just a little bit here, just a touch of gold, not so much. Yeah, I like that. I just wanted sort of a slightly fragmenty look. And I think, yeah, I think I'm happy with that. I might can't help myself, I need to put a little bit on here as well. Right, so little touches of gold there as well. So yeah, that's that one done. That was the one I was going to do most heavily. I haven't done much at the bottom because I'm probably going to have pockets down at the bottom of some of these pages. So this one, I think I will, I'm not sure. I might just do a little tiny bit in the corner on this one. Just up here. Yeah, I love that. Just that hint of gold in the corner. And on the inside, I think I might just do some down the side. I hope you can see that. I think that just looks lovely along the side there. I just wanted little bits of the gold. I'm going to put a bit of brown on this one. Right, I've got a bit of the pattern on the edge. Had planned a bit more, but I haven't quite got as much as I thought I would. Oh, maybe I'll just do a little bit up here as well. How about that? Don't know if I've got anything on there. Yeah, a little bit. It's not. I think it's because it's not where I've used a stencil on the coffee dyeing. It's a little bit like a slightly uneven surface, but actually in a way that works to my favour, because then it just picks up bits of the pattern. Not that you can really see what the pattern is there, can you? But we'll try adding a bit of gold and see how that works. Right, so we've got quite a lot of gold on there. A bit more than I planned, but that's fine. But it's all kind of, yeah, I think it goes quite well with the pattern on the paper. Just wondering whether to put a little bit on here. I'm going to have to put a little bit on here, I think. Just maybe try and keep it small. Do a little bit in that corner. Right, so we have got some on this corner, which I really like. You can really see that pattern. So yeah, that bit's done. I'm reasonably happy with that. And there's that piece. And the other bit I was thinking of doing, I thought I might do a little bit on this envelope. Just because I think it would be quite fun to do. I'm just going to do that. I'm just going to do the gold. I'm not doing any of the brown. Right. Okay. Right, I love how that's turned out. That's lovely. I don't think I put any, it's made it go a bit wrinkly, the envelope, so I'm not going to put any more, but of course I've got a bit on the flap as well. So I think I'll stick with that. Like that. Right, I'll just quickly put the signature together. It may change, but we'll put it together and then we'll see how we go next time. See if there's any more to be added. So I'm going to have that like that. So I'm just going to decide which one looks best inside here. So that looks good. It's almost too close. This one I like. What about any of the others? I think I like this one next. I don't think it matters about the others. Am I going to choose one for my centre? Make a nice centre. I think it might. For now. It could change. I'm going to put this in the middle. Yep, that one. And that one. And this one. This one. This one. And this one. Right, so approximately in that order. Right, let's see. One. This one. And that one. Right, so that's there. Got one here. Right, so that's pretty much it. There may be some things moved around and I will have to, I will fold this one in as a, probably either as a flip out or as a side pocket, like that. And that's out of sight. So now let's see. Yep. Yep. Okay, so we do have a signature. It's a bit gritty because of all the bits of embossing powder everywhere. So next time we'll start working on, not sure what we'll be working on next time. Probably just making some ephemera, I should think. Seeing what we've got in the kits, because we've got a variety of ephemera. And yeah, hopefully it'll evolve. This will be evolving. and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.